Hey guys, thank you very much for joining again. Or of course, thank you to those who are watching the recording. As I promised some live streams ago, I would do a live stream about every single question you asked under that video or under that live stream. And here I am. I did the first one last week on Thursday, and now I'm doing another one. And today's question, I'm starting on TikTok. So I'm answering questions first, which were asked on TikTok. So if you want your question to be answered as soon as possible, then please go to my TikTok and comment on there, and I will get to the topic sooner. But today I'm answering a question from Alia Rismende, and that's a very good question, actually, on a topic which I've never done before, mainly because I'm afraid of that topic or the matter of the topic, let's say. But I decided to do that because I promised I would do that. So I'm here, and the question is, so Alia Rismende asked me on my TikTok under one of the videos about Datova Schranka. So how to apply for a residence permit using Datova Schranka, or how to sort out any expat-related paperwork using Datova Schranka. And that's actually a very good question because I've never done it before. I was always afraid of that because I'm afraid of Datova Schranka. I will explain why, but I think it's a very good topic. So I will cover it now, and hopefully that will be helpful. So let's see. Why is it good? Okay, let's start with this, answering the question. What is Datova Schranka? I bet many of you have never heard of it. Some of you have. And those of you who have usually have questions on like what it is. So what is Datova Schranka? Datova Schranka is basically a way of communicating with the government electronically. It's some kind of like a system, let's say an email system-ish, where you need to log in securely or safely. So there is no doubt that it's you. It's basically the same as logging into an online banking. And then through that Datova Schranka, you can communicate with the government electronically. And there is no doubt on who sent the correspondence or the message there, because it was from your secured login. If you're on your email, anyone, your colleague or your friend or a flatmate or your wife or spouse or whoever could access your email if you left it open on your laptop or something. But through Datova Schranka, that cannot happen. So, like, of course, if you leave it open and you leave and people can go to it, then of course, but generally it's a secure thing, the same as your online banking. So you probably don't let your online banking just like hanging open and you don't leave the computer. So it's a similar system. So basically the government knows that it was you who sent the message. So it's a very like technically or theoretically, it's a very efficient way of communicating with the government because it's electronic, it's fast. So I'll get to the advantages, disadvantages later, but this is basically Datova Schranka is a mailbox kind of or inbox for communication with the government electronically. What I don't like it, or why I don't like it, or what I don't like about Datova Schranka. What I don't like about Datova Schranka is that it's very confusing. You know, I consider myself young, and I'm kind of okay with computers. I'm not like a programmer, but I'm not like someone who would not know what to do. But I still don't really get Datova Schranka, and I'm kind of terrified of it. You know, and that's probably not a good first impression. If it is something you want people to use massively, it should be easy and it should not be scary. So that's already the first thing which I don't find really useful because it's just confusing. So another thing, it has some more disadvantages, but like this is the first point. It's already, it should serve people, but if people who are kind of okay with computers don't really like know how to use it, that's already like a warning sign. But generally, it's a very good idea because it's fast and you can communicate with the government directly and officially So it's great idea. It's just not the form is not that great yet. Yeah, okay, so maybe, okay, the thing is that it's kind of complicated. It should simplify the communication with the government, but in many cases, which I will talk about in a second, it even complicates it very much compared to, for example, going to the authority in person or submitting papers via standard mail, for example. So yeah, okay. So for some authorities and some agendas, Datova Schranka can be actually pretty useful. If you, for example, want to submit your tax return, or if you want to send them some message answering some questions or something, that's very good because it goes there directly. It's fast and it's like they know that it's you, so it's very good. On the other hand, some authorities, as for example the MOI, I don't think they can work with Datova Schranka either. So it actually very much complicates the process, and also because of the nature of some of the documents and how you work with the documents. I will get to a thing which is called converse, and you'll understand what I'm talking about now, the complication. So how to use to get to the okay, to properly answer the question of Aliaris Mende from TikTok, how to use Datova Schranka for applying for your residence permit or any expat related paperwork with the government. Okay, so first, if you want to use Datova Schranka in communication with MOI, you need to be ready that it will slow down everything. I have a very fresh experience, like a month ago, five weeks ago, probably. We had to apply with a client through Datova Schranka. We had to send his application that day because, I don't know, we met him on Friday and his visa was expiring on Sunday. So there was no other way. We could not go to the ministry in person. If we mailed the letters on Friday, it would never be delivered by Sunday. So we had to use Datova Schranka. And that's actually the biggest advantage. That's the message you send or documents you send, they're immediately at the MOI. So that's great advantage. But since then, I've been calling the ministry every week, asking about the application number. And it's been 5 weeks and the application is still not in the system. Okay, they said twice, I called them 3 times. And twice they said, okay, we already urged it. We sent a request to the department and they should be working on that. Please wait. And they've done this twice. And it's been 5 weeks. We send it electronically. It was delivered the same second as we send it. And 5 weeks later, nothing is happening with the application. No one started checking it. No one has even assigned the application number. Nothing is happening with the application yet after 5 weeks. Electronic communication, which was there the same second we sent it. So that's stupid. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like Datova Schranka, and especially with communication with the Ministry of the Interior. Another thing is that I don't think people at the Ministry of the Interior can actually use Datova Schranka. So we've had it in the past that we, for example, worked with the lawyer of our client who was like a lawyer for his apartment, taking care of the lease agreements and everything. So we said, hey, Mr. Lawyer, we are applying for extension of a residence permit of your tenant. We need proof of accommodation. We need the paper. And he said, I will not do a paper. I will send it through Datova Schranka. I always do it like this. I said, okay, we understand, but we would still request the paper because, you know, we know the ministry a bit better than you. And no, I've been doing this all the time. I will send it electronically. Okay, so he did it. And eventually the ministry found it, but you need to have a special number to be able to find it in the Datova Schranka. And people at the branches are not really familiar with that. So we submitted some documents in person, basically everything in person. And just the proof of accommodation was submitted electronically. And it took us a very long time for them to check Datova Schranka, find it, print it, make sure that was actually okay. And then we could proceed with the application. So it was another delay. So if you send something via Datova Schranka, there will be delay with the even starting of the application process. And second, also in the process, if you submit some papers in person or like physical form and some papers electronically through Datova Schranka, it can very much confuse the ministry and the people there, and it can take even longer for the decision, and it can even more complicate the process. So that's another reason why I don't really like Datova Schranka. So for Datova Schranka and communication with the MOI, the advantage is that whatever you send is delivered the same second, and there is no doubt you sent it. So that's a great advantage. Disadvantage of using Datova Schranka for communication with the MOI is that it's incredibly slow. They get the documents the same second you send it, but they sometimes don't even start working on the documents for 5 weeks, 6 weeks. They don't even put it in the system. Plus, if you combine electronic documents and real documents, physical documents, they don't really like deal with that well at the ministry. So that's a big disadvantage. It can get very confusing. It can get very complicated because some of the documents, I'll explain it in a second, but some of the documents, if you want to send some documents electronically, it's not about just like scanning it and putting it into your Datova Schranka. There is a special step which is called conversion, and I will cover it now. But it makes the whole use of Datova Schranka incredibly painful. So let's go through that maybe now, so-called conversion. So if you want to use Datova Schranka to send some documents to the Ministry of the Interior, let's say you want to, what we did with the client was that we sent the full application. So we sent the application form, trade license, we sent some other documents. And you cannot just like scan it in your office, attach it to the Datova Schranka as an attachment and send it. Okay, we had to take the original document, so the original application form, filled, signed, and everything. We had to take it to a post office. Then the post office scans it and uploads it to a special cloud. Then you need to go back to your office. You need to go to that special cloud, download it using a special code, and then from your laptop, where you downloaded it, you can upload it to Datova Schranka, and then you can send it to the ministry, and only then it will be valid. So instead of just attaching the document and mailing it, you need to go to a post office, back, download something, attach it, and send it. So you will spend like half an hour to 1 hour just sending one document. So that's stupid, and that's another reason why I don't like Datova Schranka. The same way, you know, the government also uses, because we as Move to Prague, we work, we have different companies. One of them is called Move to Prague Relocation Services. That's the main one and the main brand, but we have a couple more. But all of them have Datova Schranka because that's a duty, that's obligation, that, and as an SRO, you need to have Datova Schranka. So we have it, and the government uses it to send us documents. So let's say we are applying for extension of a residence permit for business purpose. Okay, there is an English teacher who's been teaching here for a year for the first visa, and now they're applying for a residence permit or extension of the residence permit. So let's say we apply for proof of no debts from the tax office. So the tax office will send the proof of no debts to our Datova Schranka, saying, we confirm that this client doesn't have any debts against our authority at this date. And you would think, this is an official document from an official institution, so yeah, I just print it and I will send it to the ministry and all is good. But it doesn't work like that. You need to go, you need to get a special conversion number. Then with the number, you go to a post office, you give them the number. Then they download it from Datova Schranka, they print it, and they attach another document saying we confirm that this is a genuine document printed from Datova Schranka of this company. So again, if you receive some official document to your Datova Schranka saying, okay, or understanding, okay, this is the original, let's use it somewhere. If you actually want to use it somewhere, you have to go through this whole process of printing it, verifying it, and then like whatever doing with it. So, you know, it's a good idea, but it's still like very very, very, very like confusing and not really good. So if you prefer electronic communication and you like it that much that you don't mind sometimes going through these like hassles, then Datova Schranka is definitely the way to go. If you expect something working perfectly and with no flaws and like being actually helpful in all of the cases you want to use it, then you would be very disappointed. But actually, there was a good thing about COVID that the government of the Czech Republic started using more of the electronic communication. So, for example, there is a one huge news with the Czech social security system, and that is that they started using an electronic system for these taxes. So, I mean, like taxes done this year, so meaning for the previous year. So taxes done in 2022 for previous year 2021 used to the social security office used to send all the documents via post, like they were mailing the physical documents with signatures and everything, and that can get lost and everything. And now they started the electronic system where you can do everything online, so they don't mail anything. So that was a huge surprise because no one knew about it, and they just said, okay, from tomorrow it will be like that. But it's actually pretty nice if you manage to log in, which for Czech people it's okay, because you can log in through your bank, you can log in through your Datova Schranka and through your other things. But if you're a foreigner and you don't have either of those, then you're fucked, because you will not access your social security reports, and they don't send it anymore. So you can only find it online, but you cannot log in online because you cannot do that physically. So yeah, it's not really great, but it's a great step towards something great. So, because Czech Republic 10 years ago, you could not do anything at all electronically. Everything had to be on paper, original physical signatures, 10 stamps, and everything. Now, it's still very similar, and the Czech Republic still prefers paper and physical documents, but you can do some things electronically already, even in regards to the government. Of course, with companies, private companies, it's fine, you can do it normally, but with the government, it's not really a standard in the Czech Republic. But it's getting there. Datova Schranka is one of the good steps. The Czech social security system, the online system, is good first step. OZP, the health insurance company, one of the public ones, also offers an online system where you can check everything. So it's getting better, and more things can be done electronically in the Czech Republic, even though it's not working properly. Let's be happy for that, and let's see what the future brings. Woo! That was it. Oh. It's almost 1 o'clock at night, so I'm tired. Oh, there are so many questions on my YouTube, so I'll answer those. Guys on Facebook, if you also have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'm just starting with questions on YouTube. So, Safa, Bugatfa, Hayan. Hi, Safa, thank you very much for watching. Hi, nice from you for coming here again. RBC Gaming YouTube. Hello, sir. You didn't respond my message in Instagram. You remember, sir, I sent SMS before. I won't stay in Schengen country. Yeah, on Instagram, I'm very good on TikTok. I have like 2,500 followers there, which is, in my opinion, good for this very, very small niche I have, like Czech immigration. I'm good on Facebook. I'm kind of good on YouTube, but Instagram, not really. So Instagram is not the best way to contact me. The easiest way or the best way is to send me an email or fill in a form on the movetoprague.com website, and we'll get back to you for sure. If you send me a message on Instagram, I might sometimes even read it, but I usually don't have the capacity to reply all, because it's first confusing, second, I don't like the platform and it doesn't like me. And another thing is that I receive like tens of messages on different platforms every day, so I just don't have the capacity to reply all. The Czech MOI is officially the slowest. Yeah, I agree. The Czech MOI is crazy slow, and I don't know how it's possible, because it's been like that since forever. They've been getting better in like small things, but in general they still suck dicks. Sorry for the term. It's just the first thing that arrives to my mind when I hear MOI. So Anders Svanholm. You're up late. Yeah, I am. I am dying. Question: what do you think the chances are of Živno approval for someone with felony criminal history from 22 years ago? Okay. Okay. First of all, it depends on your nationality, because obviously, if you're an American, you don't need a criminal check. You just go to the U.S. embassy. You say, "Hey, I'm good," and they sign the paper called affidavit, and no one checks your criminal records. So if you're an American, you just go to your embassy, raise your fingers, swear you're a good person, you get affidavit, and no one cares. So if you're an American, do it this way, and no one will care. Unofficial advice. Second, if you're from some other country where you actually need the criminal check, then it depends on whatever. If the criminal records show that, because in some countries records kind of disappear or are deleted from your records after some time. So if you, for example, were in jail 15 years ago, it no longer counts. So so it depends if it will even show up in the system. And then, of course, it depends on the decision maker at the ministry if they see it as a big problem or not. But obviously, if it's assault with deadly weapon and street terrorism, gang affiliation, I don't think if it appears in your criminal check and the ministry sees that, I don't think they will approve the application, to be honest. Yeah, generally the ministry is looking for any possible reason to deny your application, and like assault with deadly weapon and street terrorism sounds pretty serious to me. So I don't think that if this appears in your record that it makes sense to apply. But you can try and maybe prove me wrong, but this is just my personal opinion based on my experience and knowledge. Safa Bugatfa, hi Jan, I'm going today to the embassy. They invited me to come, saying they need to check my passport and they need some clarification about documents. What does this mean, please? I don't really like such questions, because if we haven't dealt with your application, there can be whatever can be wrong. If we deal with you, if you do the visa process with us, we have everything. We ask you all the questions in the beginning, and if you don't, if you tell us everything, then we are prepared for everything, and if they ask you for an interview or if they call you for the embassy, we know what it probably is about. Now, I don't know anything about your case, so it's very difficult to say why they called you. But generally, if they called you to the embassy after you submitted the application, they're questioning the real reason of your stay. So if you, for example, what can happen, okay? If you're a student, if you applied for a student visa, then they will invite you for an interview. It might be, most likely, it will be about the motivation of your studies, like why you chose this university. What exactly will you be studying? Who will be your teachers? What will you do after you finish the university? Questions like that to verify the purpose of your stay. If you, for example, applied for family reunification visa, I know, Safa, that this is your case, just to give you the idea that if you applied for a family reunification visa, question is, let's say your husband moved here 5 years ago and you're applying for your visa now. So you lived 5 years without each other. So the ministry can obviously question the real reason of your application, because, hey, you didn't care about your husband for 5 years, so why did you start caring now? And is it a real application or is it a fake application? Or maybe, on the other hand, if you got married a week before you submitted the application, they might ask, okay, is it a real marriage or you just got married to get the visa? So it depends. Usually it's about, if they call you to the embassy, it's about some potential problem, something the ministry doesn't like. So you should think about, okay, what might have been the case. So if you got married 5 months ago, that might be the reason. Like, hey, how long do you know your husband? Where did you meet? How long have you been together? Or how long had you been together before getting married? What do you plan on doing? Where does he work? Where will you be living? So all questions like that about the general purpose of your stay. Sometimes if they see some potential problem in the application, they can ask you about the specific problem there. So for example, if your husband is living in one address, but you used a different address for your application, that can be a problem as well, because they will ask, hey, you're moving here to live with your husband, but you both have different addresses. What's going on? So usually if they call you for some interview, or if they call you back after you submitted the application, it indicates that there is something the ministry doesn't like and they want clarification. It's not like a friendly chat. They would like to ask you, hey, how was your day, and are you looking forward to get the visa? There is usually some problem they want to clarify. Okay. Let me see. Safa, that was this. RBC Gaming YouTube. Can I have your email, sir, please? Please go to my bio here on YouTube, and all the contacts are there. Arun KB, can you please talk about national ID card? I will, Arun. I believe you asked me the question in the comments, either here or somewhere else. I've seen it. So I will definitely do another video about that. They get a free pass. I don't know. What was it about? You seem to have fun, but I don't recall what was it about. So if you remind me, I'll be happy. So we can laugh together. Anders, thanks for your honest opinion. Very much appreciated. My pleasure. Unfortunately, it wasn't probably the best answer you expected, but honest opinion, yeah. I had to bring a C record from my home country and the country I'm residing in. Yeah, criminal record, that's like that. That might be a potential case as well, that if you didn't submit some documents, they might request some additional documents for you. That's or from you. That's possible. Yeah, and there's exactly my question, and you replied to that. Yep, American. Yeah, honestly, Americans have everything is easier for Americans, because I don't know when it originally started. There might be, we actually discussed that with a client of ours some time ago, and we came to a couple conclusions. But the point is, we want to have, Czech Republic wants to have a good relationship with Americans. The United States are also considered one of the safe countries, so everything is easier for US citizens. So this as well, the criminal check. The problem is that the US Embassy in Prague will do a background check through FBI database. My crown will show up there. I don't think they do that. Maybe they did, or maybe they do, but I don't think they do that, because it's basically just a sworn statement. What the affidavit is about is really like, we have the template, and we deal with it every week a couple times, because we have plenty of American clients. So you basically just go to the embassy, and there is this like sentence saying, I hereby confirm honestly that I haven't committed any crime which would prevent me from getting a trade license in the Czech Republic or getting a visa for the Czech Republic. They have two different versions, but you can use just one for both purposes. So I don't think they check anything. I believe that they just will verify your signature, saying, okay, he really signed that and he really said that. But I don't think they check the criminal database. Maybe, yes, but it's, again, like the document itself is a sworn statement. So I don't think there is a point in checking your sworn statement. So I don't think they do that. Rayu on Facebook, Rayu Balchaundi. It's me, RBC Gaming YouTube. Sir, please accept my request. Here, sir. If you mean friendship requests, that's fine, of course. And if you mean other requests, you need to be more specific. Because I like on the live streams on Facebook, I'm not sure. I cannot really use most of the features there. But if you mean like a friend's request, of course, not a problem. Yeah, and if you're serious, you're hired. All right. Yeah, get in touch, or first maybe try to go there, and you'll see what happens. And you'll see if they check the database and it shows up, then at least you know. But if you go there and you don't, they don't check it and you're fine, that's better. So go. You need to book an appointment online to go to the US Embassy. I believe that the earliest available appointments they only work on Fridays and like 2 hours a day. So all the spots are booked for long in advance, but I believe the earliest is 20th of May, Friday. So book the appointment for that Friday, and then just you'll see and let us know. Okay, guys, time for your questions. It's 1 o'clock at night, so I'll accept really just like one more question, and then I'll be going to sleep. Well, honestly, I don't know what perjury means, but I get the idea. This is more up to you and your conscience. Obviously, like if you were convicted and you go and you raise your fingers and you say, hey, I've never been convicted, up to you. You know, it's a lie. On the other hand, it's written the way that you say that you have not committed a crime which would prevent you from getting the trade license. It probably would not. Like if you, I don't know exactly what you did. Like, I don't know. Based on what you wrote, it sounds pretty serious, but well, I don't know. So depends. If you don't feel like this would prevent you from getting a Czech trade license or Czech visa, that's okay. But of course, it will be lying, and if someone found out, it could be a problem. On the other hand, it's a question if they will. Yeah. How much easy to get job there, sir? Is it possible to come with working visa, sir? Well, depends. Like now, it's not that easy to find a job anymore. It used to be very easy, but it also depends on your specialization. I would say there are two demands in the Czech Republic. First is IT, everything in IT, like software developers, app developers, software engineers, all these, there is a huge demand for that. So if you're a software engineer, you can get 10 jobs in 1 week, I kind of guarantee you. On the other hand, there are plenty of companies which are looking for like workers in factories and companies. So that's also, if you're not looking for any qualified job, just something in a factory, then you can get a job here as well. If you need something in between, like an HR position or marketing or stuff like that, probably the chances are not really high. But if you really want unqualified positions or software development, then you definitely have chances. Okay, fair enough, Andres. Yeah. RFLCTR, have you ever seen a study long-term visa issued for only 4 months period, Jan? Yes, I've seen almost everything. We've been in the business for 10 years now, so validity of your long-term visa depends on a couple of things. First, the duration of your studies. So if you, for example, get you are enrolled in a course for 6 months, and then the approval process takes 2 months. When they approve it, you already only have 4 months left, so they can do that. Another thing is your proof of accommodation. If you only get proof of accommodation for 4 months, or there are 4 months left when they're approving the application, they will approve the application or the visa only for 4 months. There can be a couple other, if you, for example, buy health insurance only for 4 months, they will shorten the duration of the visa for 4 months. So it depends, and it's definitely possible. I've seen long-term visas being issued for 2 weeks. I've seen visas being issued for 6 months instead of 1 year. I've seen visas issued for 1 year. I've seen visas issued for 3 months. So I've seen everything, and it depends on the documents you submitted, when you submitted them, and what was their validity when the visa was approved. Usually, if the visa is shortened, it's because of proof of accommodation or the confirmation of studies. Rayu, I'm following you, sir. You are so honest. Then true, sir. So can I apply through you, sir? We don't really help with finding jobs. I can send you a website if you remind me. I can send you a link to a website where where companies which are willing to hire foreigners need to advertise their positions. So if you have a chance to find a job, it will be on this website. So if you remind me, I'll be happy to send it to you. But we, as a Move to Prague relocation experts, we don't help with finding jobs because it's a completely different sphere of business, and it's enough for us to deal with like immigration, visas, housing, and health insurance, and we don't really have the capacity to deal with jobs at this point. Okay, so they approved the visa super late and they cut the time of the period for visa. That's how it is. They can even deny the application because it took them too long to approve it in time. So the ministry can do whatever they want. Hopefully I can get my visa in time. Yes, fingers crossed. It would be great if the ministry sticked, whatever, I don't know, if they just stick to the given deadlines, because they have deadlines. I did another video, another live stream about that a couple of weeks ago, maybe months ago, like the official deadlines of the ministry. So for example, for a student visa, they have 60 days to make the decision. For a business visa, it's 90 to 120 days. For an employee card, it's 60 to 90 days. So they have these official deadlines, but they don't really care about them at all. If there's 60 days, it can be 2 weeks, or it can be 60 days, or it can be 60 months. Like really, it can take a very long time. So they don't really care. So fingers crossed for everyone. Thanks a lot for your response, sir. Take care. Good night. Rayu or Raju, Balhaudi. Thank you very much for joining, and good night to you too as well. It's been 62 days. I'm scared because my studies start in 9 May. Well, 62 days, if there's 60 days, that's okay. Don't worry. You cannot do anything anyway. If you contact the embassy will tell you that they don't make the decision, so they will let you know as soon as they hear from the ministry. If you contact the ministry, they will probably not even reply to you. The only thing you could do potentially is to send them a complaint against inactivity. If they exceeded the official deadline, you can send a strong letter saying, hey guys, you only have 60 days by the law. You haven't made a decision. I want you to make a decision. You need to state what you want them to do. So I want you to make a decision within the next 2 weeks so I can start my studies in time. And they have to do that. But if you do this, that's basically going behind their back, going to their bosses and complain about them. So usually it doesn't make them too happy, and they usually try to deny the application or find whatever they can to deny the application. Sometimes not. Sometimes they will say, okay, I just forgot about the application, let's approve it now. But sometimes they will everything possible to make it complicated. So I would just recommend waiting for a couple more days, maybe weeks, and then you'll see. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining all. It was great that you joined. And remember, I did a video a week ago, probably exactly 1 week ago, because I already did one answer and this is the second answer. So I did a video exactly 1 week ago where I asked you to ask some questions, and I'm now answering all the questions in a special live streams on that particular topic. So today's topic was about Datova Schranka, which is a data box, electronic way of communicating with the Czech government, which was asked by Alia Rismende through my TikTok. and I'm starting with answering questions from TikTok. So if you don't follow me on TikTok yet, I will share the link here, and you can find it in my bio and in most descriptions of each videos or of every video I have. So follow me on TikTok, and if you ask your question there under the correct video, then I'll answer it definitely sooner than through other platforms. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anders. Thank you, Antruli. Thanks as well. So, guys, thank you very much. I guess it's Reflector, maybe Reflector. So thank you so much, Reflector, as well, for coming. Anders, thank you as well, and for asking the question. I'm happy I'm useful. I'm happy I'm helpful. So even like 1 past or 15 past 1 is fine. You can probably just see from my eyes that I'm already half sleeping, but still providing some value and some content. So thank you very much for joining, and see you on Thursday. Bye bye, guys. Bye, guys.